Good evening and welcome to the newscast. I'm Daniel Choy with the latest at this hour. We start with some breaking news. A group of armed men attacked Korea's embassy in Libya on Sunday. Seoul's foreign ministry said the unknown armed group was in a car they fired at the front of the embassy compound. The ministry official said there are no reported casualties of Korean nationals. China's Xinhua News Agency reported 2 security guards were killed and another was wounded in the attack. Xinhua also said the attack was carried out by the Islamic State group, but the motive was not known. Shifting gears now to other stories, leaders and activists from around the world are gathering in the southeastern cities of Daegu and Gyeongju to explore solutions for the world's water challenges. The meeting is part of the Global Water Forum that kicked off on Sunday. Our Kim Ji-yeon reports.
Around 35,000 global leaders, business people, and activists are to participate in this year's World Water Forum in Korea. The triannual event provides a platform for discussions on issues related to water shortages around the world. At the opening ceremony, President Park Geun-hye said the forum will help promote peace by offering solutions to water-related conflicts. Case in point, she said she believes inter-Korean tensions can be eased by linking water routes connecting the two Koreas. She said plans are underway for a dialogue channel for the co-management of rivers passing through the two Koreas. The president added that advanced and developing countries should both approach the problem as an opportunity for growth. She proposed setting up the K-Water program, under which Korea would provide its water management know-how to developing nations. She said around 10% of the country's official development assistance is currently being routed to resolve water-related issues, and pledged increased government support for water-related initiatives in cooperation with the Green Climate Fund and Global Green Growth Institute. Underlining the pressing nature of the challenges, the United Nations Environment Program says more than half of the global population will experience water shortages by 2050. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
Tourism ministers from Korea, China, and Japan met in Tokyo over the weekend for the first time in 4 years. They vowed to increase the number of travelers to the 3 countries to 30 million by 2020 from the 20 million recorded last year. They also agreed to work together to create a campaign promoting the countries ahead of the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics and the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics. The ministers from Korea and China also agreed to alleviate inconveniences felt by tourists ahead of next year's bilateral travel year promoting tourism to the 2 countries. And we now zoom in on the latest high-profile corruption scandal that has rocked the nation on Sunday. At a press conference, ruling Saenuri Party Chairman Kim Moo-sung called for a thorough investigation into a list found in the pocket of Gyeongnam Enterprises CEO Sung Won-jung after he committed suicide on Thursday. The list includes the names of those who allegedly took bribes from Sung, including politicians and key aides to President Park Geun-hye, that is. The main opposition party called the press conference a disappointment, adding that the questions about her 2012 campaign fund should be investigated first. In an interview with a local daily before his death, Sung said he gave money to people on the list for the campaign. The prosecution has put together a special team that will launch a full-scale investigation into the allegations tomorrow. It was a historic encounter between U.S. President Barack Obama and his Cuban counterpart Raul Castro. The two talked for about an hour in what was the first sit-down between the leaders of the 2 countries in more than half a century. Our Na Young-kyung has the story.
It took the heads of state of the U.S. and Cuba more than 50 years to sit down face-to-face. U.S. President Barack Obama described the meeting as historic and said it was time for them to try something new.
We are now in a position to move on a path towards the future and leave behind some of the circumstances of the past.
The meeting took place on Saturday on the sidelines of a gathering in Panama called the Summit of the Americas. Castro, who earlier in the day acknowledged that there would be stumbling blocks ahead, reaffirmed Cuba's commitment to normalize diplomatic ties with the U.S.
We are willing to discuss everything, but we need to be patient, very patient.
This comes after Washington and Havana surprised the world last December when they announced the 2 countries would seek to end half a century of diplomatic strife by normalizing relations. The big question now is whether Obama will remove Cuba from Washington's list of state sponsors of terrorism. After the meeting, the U.S. president told reporters that he would need more time to make a decision.
I'll be honest with you, I have been on the road, and I want to make sure that I have a chance to read it, study it, before we announce publicly what the policy outcome is going to be.
Citing a senior U.S. official, various media outlets report the announcement will be made in the coming days. Whether this will indeed open a new era and eventually lead to reopening embassies in Washington and Havana remains to be seen. Na Hyun-kyung, Arirang News.
In the auto industry, Hyundai Motor Group had a great first quarter, especially in the U.S. luxury sedan market. Its sales in that sector more than doubled from the previous year in the first quarter, a record-high quarterly share in the segment. Industry data showed Sunday the combined U.S. sales of Hyundai Motors Premium Genesis and Ecus and Kia Motors K9 increased 106% in the January to March period to 7,566 units, a dramatic climb from the roughly 3,600 units sold a year earlier. Together, the three sedans took a big bite out of the high-end automobile pie with a market share of 10.4%. Hyundai, the world's number 5 automaker, had a combined share of 7.9% in the global market. The Genesis sedan was the bestseller among the three, with the Ecus and K9 trailing behind. And Korea's 24-member Ebola response team has completed its 3-month mission to treat patients in Sierra Leone. The Foreign Ministry said Sunday the final group of medical staff members has been released after a 21-day quarantine. The ministry official said the government plans to publish a white paper on the team's experiences so it can draw up measures for coping with overseas emergencies. Korea sent 3 groups of doctors and nurses beginning in December to join the global fight against a highly contagious disease in West Africa. According to the World Health Organization, the Ebola virus is estimated to have killed more than 10,000 people since the outbreak in December 2013. Approximately 650 people from 30 countries managed to run around in the open in North Korea on Sunday without being detained. They're all participating in the Pyongyang Marathon, which offers entrants the rare opportunity to see Pyongyang by foot. Foreign registration was up by more than 200 this year from the year before. Tour agencies say the number would have been much higher if not for a rigorous screening process and numerous restrictions on foreigners seeking to enter the communist state. The marathon starts and finishes at Kim Il-sung Stadium and loops around the city center. It can be run as either a full marathon or a 10K half marathon. This is only the second North Korean marathon to allow foreigner participation. Our universe is full of stars that are actually giant balls of gas, like the sun. For many years, scientists have debated the process by which young protostars evolve into adult stars. But now, Korean researchers have helped to come up with a definitive answer. Our Won Ji-yeon reports.
This cloud of gas is about 4,000 light-years from Earth, and there's a young protostar at its core, still in the early stages of formation. A team of international scientists, including 2 members of the Korea Astronomy and Space Science Institute, have watched this star develop over 18 years through real-time photos, a first for the scientific community. And the researchers say what they observed has recently been confirmed as a groundbreaking discovery in star evolution. Scientists have long agreed that young stars grow by collecting spirals of gas and dust while expelling leftovers in a repetitive process over millions of years. But the order of that process remained unclear until now. The researchers say they witnessed the once formless protostar becoming slimmer and more elliptical as it grew.
These photos are ending the debate over the process of star evolution. We have once again confirmed that a young star's shape is parallel to the direction of the outflow of unused materials.
The photos that document this change were taken in 2007, but the scientific world here on Earth wasn't quite ready to accept them, as they seem to reverse long-held beliefs on star evolution. But after 8 years, the research has finally won official approval from the global scientific community and has been published in the April issue of Science magazine. Won Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
And now for a quick look at the weather. We had perfect weather for soaking in the spring over the weekend, but that won't continue on Monday. Rain is in the forecast nationwide for the first 2 days of the week, and the high in the capital will dip down a few notches to 16 degrees Celsius. And now let's check out the weather conditions outside of Korea, around the world. And we've come to the end of this newscast, but there's more coming up at 10 p.m. Korea time. Do join us then. For now, thank you for watching.